meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, everyone. Big welcome to our patching podcast. Today it is Monday, August the 8th. Oh, it is 8/8 of 2022. If you don't know what that means it is infinity number and it is your lucky day, because in the next 30 minutes, we're going to be sharing some incredible testimonials tonight, and we're going to hear about how this amazing technology works in this little patch. We're going to share who's responsible for that, and we're going to show you how to get it. Before we get started, my name is Peter No, Senior Presidential Director here with LifeWave. I have my amazing partner here, Mrs. Suzanne McGee. I call her for our forever young lady because look at her. She looks forever young. How are you doing, Suzanne?
Oh, great. Thank you. I get so excited for Mondays. It's a great time for us to be able to connect with our family.
Well, Monday is always the day to kick off the whole week as we do this 5 days a week. If you are a brand new guest here tonight, please make sure to kiss, hug the person that introduced this to you, because they care about your health. They have an experience with this and they just want to share something that will benefit and bring so much value to your life. So without further ado, Suzanne, let's get this party started.
Okay, well, first I have to read our obligatory statement. We are not doctors or medical professionals. The information discussed here is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. So if you're pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or having a medical condition, please consult with your physician first and then come back to us. So there's our statement. We have to read it. And with that, we're going to start with our first person. And this has been a referral for us. And so Sharon, I'm anxious to hear how you were introduced to X39 and some things that have changed in your life. So it's up to you. Please go ahead.
This is Mary Faye, and she's at my house. That's why it's showing Sharon.
Okay.
Mary Faye.
Okay, Mary Faye, it's up to you.
What would you like to know?
How were you introduced to X39?
I was introduced to the product by Pat Tom, who has been a friend for 20 some years, but we hadn't been in touch for a while. So it was exciting for her and for me both for her to tell me about this patch, because I was really hurting at the time that she told me, which was only a couple of weeks ago in July.
Great. What attracted you the most as she told you about X39?
What attracted me the most?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, she told me a few things that people had used it for, and they had good results, and that's what I needed. I needed something to happen because I had about 7 different things wrong in my body, and some with excruciating pain and some with just like an annoying mosquito or something. But I started would you like to have the rundown?
Yes, we sure would.
Okay, well, I'm going to start at my toes.
Okay, there we go.
And work my way up.
All right, we'll take it.
I had numb feet, which they tell you that people, when they get a little older, I mean, their hands are usually cold and their feet is cold. Well, my toes were actually like, I couldn't feel them too much, and that affects your balance.
Definitely.
And the second thing was I had restless leg syndrome. That was a real plague for me, because every time I laid down at night, even if I was sitting up in bed watching television or something with my legs straight out, when I laid down to go to sleep, then my legs started to cramp and jump, and the longer I laid there thinking it would go away, it didn't. It got worse by the minute, by the half hour. If you know, when I tried to beat this thing and not pay any attention to it, but it didn't work. So I would get up and I would take calcium, I would take potassium, I would take other things. And my pastor's wife told me, she said, if you take 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard, it'll go away. And you know what? She was right. But I went to Costco, I bought 2 big things of mustard, went through both of them. But see, this was before I met Pat again, and before she came into my life. So anyhow, that was 2. Number 3 was back in March. I don't know how I did it or what I did, but I pulled something in my left knee. And I wore a brace day and night for several months, and even to bed. And then after a while, it subsided to a degree, but when I would go to bed, you know, and before I met Pat, I'm giving her the credit, I would have pain in my knee again during the night, and you just can't get comfortable. I mean, I put my knee on a pillow, I put it straight, I tried everything, but I still had enough pain in my knee that it would impair my sleeping or keep me totally from sleeping.
Okay, of course.
So number, I don't know, 3 or whatever it is, 4. Okay, 4. As we go up, it gets more severe. So number 4 was if I spread my fingers out like this and then just put them on my head and just barely, like you're gonna massage your head or something, and my head felt like my entire head, let me emphasize that, felt like it was deeply bruised.
Wow.
I don't know why or wherefore, or I have no idea why I had that condition, but I had that condition for a month or 2. It was a recent thing, but I went to my doctor for number 5, but not for this. I didn't even tell him that I had that problem, because the more you tell them, I love doctors and they do good work, and God helps those, the doctor who help us, but I just didn't tell him. I didn't want any litany of lists to go from my mouth to his ear.
Yes.
That's number 4. Number 5 was that I had periodically vertigo. And there is nothing worse in this world than vertigo, because I had double vision. I was nauseous. And it affects your balance. It affected my balance to the point that I didn't want to drive, because I never knew when this thing was going to come on me. I mean, it would just show up one day or afternoon or night or in the middle of the night. I mean, it'd just show up, and it was very, very annoying and debilitating. But I had some good friends that one brought me lunch. One, if I wanted to go, one would bring me some grocery shopping, or I could go with them grocery shopping. But I stopped driving, and that was the hardest for me, because
That is hard.
I drive with no problem on the 101, and I have been told that I go 80 miles an hour. But it's second nature to me. I mean, I just do these things and don't even think about it. It's like going from a shift car to an automatic. Driving is just automatic.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And how long did you have the vertigo? I've
had that for, oh gosh, maybe 6 months. I mean, I can't tell you when it started, but it was a really, really, really bad thing. I wouldn't wish that on the devil.
Okay, well, that's quite a list of things.
Yes, it is a list.
How long have you been on the X39?
I started the X39 on the 25th of July.
Okay. So
Now hold your seats, guys, because I took it like at 8 o'clock in the morning and got off of it at 8 o'clock in the evening, like the directions say, went to bed, woke up the next morning so that I would be on schedule. I actually set my alarm so I wouldn't oversleep. The next morning, I had no pain, zero, every place in my body with the exception of the toes.
wow, that is amazing. And we're all going to clap for you for sure. I see Peter doing it the first, because what an amazing trust that you had in your friend, started looking at some of these things. And there are people that don't list them as you did. So you were already listing some of these issues, and you could tell that when that became better, you knew what you were looking for. That is a tremendous story. Peter, do you have any questions to?
Yes, I do. I have 2 things to recognize for Mary Faye. One, I really don't like to ask women how old they are, but I would love to ask you how old you are.
I'm 90.
90 years old, everybody.
Wow.
So
we was 90 the 23rd of June.
Wow.
Well, I was born in 1938. Figure it out.
Wow.
Actually, the day after my birthday, I would have been married 61 years if my husband was still here.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, and another thing, Mary Faye, because of your excitement and your results, I just want to let our community know that she hit manager in 4 days, everybody.
Oh, that's amazing.
She already signed up 9 people, 9 partners with her. So Mary Faye, thank you so much. Would you like to add anything last? Do you want to say anything last for our
I would love to, if I can say something about myself. Other than
that. Okay, give you 1 more minute, Mary Faye. I'll give you 1 more minute for yourself.
Okay. I, back in 1987, I wrote 2 children's books, but didn't get to publish them because I wanted to self-publish. And you can't do that unless you have $20-some thousand and have a parlor to store them in and a basement, which was possible back in Missouri. But they're, the one is the cock and bull story. The cock sat down with the bull one day. He said, "It didn't come to play. I came to seek your advice because my chickens haven't been very nice." I'd like to think of them as being silly and quirky, but to be honest with you, they're acting more like a turkey.
Well, this has definitely been my most interesting testimonial that I've interviewed, for sure. There's no doubt about it. And we're going to go ahead and have this recording and send it out to those people who want to be as vivacious and vigor as you are at 90 years old. Thank you so much for coming on, and we will follow up with you in a little bit of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll come back for you, Mary Faye. Bye.
Okay, so let's go ahead and hear from Chu. And Peter and I had just a fun thing with your name, and but we got it. And we're anxious to hear what your results have been. How have you been introduced to X39?
Well, I actually met Peter over 30 years ago when he was a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was my auntie's, his mom was my auntie's friend in Austria, and then become my mom's friend, and then became my another auntie's boss. So,
Oh, that's a long history there.
yeah, so when Peter, I got reconnect with Peter like end of May this year, and I didn't think much of the LifeWave, and Peter said, "Oh, let's give you some samples." So I tried it, and then I gave it to my uncle, and he was able to. He had a stroke last year, so he was able to speak after 2 hours wearing the X39. I don't know what happened. I called Peter and I signed up.
Well, that's pretty good. I love people that don't take time to make a decision once they see what the miracle has happened, not questioning it. So I highly acknowledge you for doing that. What other results have you seen besides that remarkable experience of your uncle's?
So for myself, because I often get people ask me, why do I need X39 if I'm super healthy, right? So I thought I was very healthy. But 22 years ago, my grandma died of breast cancer. And before she died, I actually escaped to New Zealand to work on The Lord of the Rings, the film. So I had a very successful film career. I didn't know that there was something that I never get resolution. So when over the 22 years, every time I dream of my grandma, I couldn't face her in a dream. So when I started wearing the X39 for the first time, I dreamed about my grandma and I had a conversation with her.
Wow.
And to me, this is my grandma.
Oh,
And,
beautiful grandma.
yeah. And to me, that meant a lot to me. And then I recently started looking at the corporate peptide and say, yeah, it's actually working on my brain function. And then when I started wearing the energy enhancer after the doctor's training, I started having the motivation finally to start writing a book about her. And that was 2 Sundays ago.
Oh, that's beautiful. But
Yeah.
we've never had a testimony of that. You're the first one that you saw your grandmother and started writing a book about her.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. That's a great result from the X39. Is there anything else that you would like to tell us?
Well, something that is very strange is that I'm 55, but I feel like I'm back to my 30s. So when I was wearing the X39, I had carpal tunnel pain. Like I used to have them a lot when I was in my 30s. So I called Sally and said, hey, what's going on? And she told me it's just going through old wounds. So the X39 has been going back to my old wounds that I've been suppressed. And then the pain went away. The pain went away. Yeah. And it's just very, very interesting.
We're so thankful that you came on, told us some additional things that work with this technology. And we definitely would like to follow back with you in a few months and see if you've done more with anybody else who's come into those dreams or you've experienced being able to write about them. Thank you for coming on. And I acknowledge you for being a cousin with Peter, and Peter's raising his hand because he is anxious to ask you something else. Peter.
Oh no, I just want to tell her. Oh yeah, Chu, you want to say anything last?
Yeah, something I forgot. When Peter told me that when we wear X39, we could not decide where we want the body to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And the uncle who had a speech impaired, he speaks 3 languages: Cambodian, German, and Chinese. So I touched base with my auntie, his wife, over the weekend. And she said that now he speaks fluent Cambodian and his German is not bad and Chinese still needs some work. So that tells me that we can't decide which one we want to heal first.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
No, I just wanted to add this because, sometimes family, when we have family or distant family, they're the last people to believe in us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for even Chu to come back and for us to connect 30 years later, in a sense, and then now our families are starting to believe in each other that the product works because Chu's a perfect example of what's happening now. So just want to tell her how proud we are and You know, she has just blossomed in just the last couple of months and became a brand new person here. And she just loves our community so much. So Chu, thank you for being here. And she became a manager too right away too. So it's such a beautiful
Well,
thing.
amazing.
Thank
Two
you.
women right aside of each other becoming managers. And that's great because you're sharing your story from the heart and then others are believing to see what could happen with them. Well, I think this has been a wonderful call so far, Peter. And now we need to hear from you as to who is the man that helped create this and where can others get it who would like to have some of these life-changing experiences themselves.
Wow. So thank you so much, Mary Faye and Chu, and what incredible testimonials. And before I share how this technology works, I just want to put everybody in a frame of mind. Remember 30 years ago, there was no technology, right? Even 15 years ago, people were talking about antioxidants. How can you think about turning on something called stem cells when the world is barely talking about it? So before we go there, I want everyone to think about regeneration and repair non-invasively, okay? And especially for the guests here tonight, you must be wondering, how does this thing work? So really, really simple. This is called a wafer-thin wearable technology. It's the very first stem cell activation patch called the X39. The technology is using your body's battery. Our body is the light. The technology is embedded in these organic crystals. So when this crystal touches the skin like this, your body's battery will turn on the crystals to send a signal back to the body to talk to the cells. That in itself is the technology. And what is it telling the cells to do? If you don't know what peptides are, I did not know what peptides are either. But when we found out that you can actually turn on the most powerful peptide in your body called GHK, copper peptide. If you look up the website reverseagingwithghk.com, if you see the benefits of that, the moment you put this patch on your body instantly, and that's why Mary Faye and Chu's uncle instantly had some kind of result, because right away, within 24 hours, the DNA is being repaired. 4,000 genes is being activated, turned on. Collagen is being turned on. The GHK peptide is being turned on. Your body's literally being tuned up instantly. Your ATP, meaning that the energy in your cells are being turned on. So who here likes to be turned on like a switch? Yeah, because why? Because the whole world cannot get turned on by injections, by creams, and by pills. You have to be turned on by a technology that is non-invasive. And this technology to be turned on, it's called photobiomodulation. It is called the light. So if you have been patched, you have been turned on by the light. So what happens right away when you get turned on by the light? Exactly what happened to Mary Faye. Her pain went away. Exactly what happened to Chu's uncle. His brain repaired instantly so he could start activating, right? And then it went from Mary Faye's foot all the way to her brain. And it only took a couple of days to do that too. But is there more internal healing happening? Of course there is, because we are just regenerating older cells and making new cells come back to life. So how easy it is in today's times to just peel off a sticker and learn how to regenerate and repair yourself with technology. Now, why is this technology so important today? Because we are all not regenerating after the age of 35, because your stem cells are not producing anymore after the age of 35. So who here likes to be repaired 50% of the way? Okay, that's better. Who here likes to be damaged 85 to 90% of the way? No one. Nobody wants to be damaged. But guess what? We are not getting younger, because as we get older, 80 to 90% of our stem cells are not producing anymore. So that's why when you put on this little sticker on you at any age, and especially if you're over the age of 65, what if you can just put this on you and start repairing you 80 to 90% faster, better, naturally? So what we're trying to say is that we're going to tune you up. We're going to tune you up with light technology. We're going to turn you on with light technology. And it's as easy as saying it as what we're doing. So now, who is responsible for this technology? David Schmidt. He is our CEO. He is the actual scientist. And he, 20 years ago, created a technology for the Navy that helped them get energy back. And because he knew it worked for them, he knew he had to get this technology out to the world. And 18 years ago, he created LifeWave. But a little bit over 12 years now, David knew that the stem cell world, the regeneration and repair world will be coming into play. And he spent over millions of dollars. He spent over 12 years now to develop, patent, research, and develop this patch. And the X39 was released 3 years ago. What happened to LifeWave in 3 years? We went from 50 million, and this year we will be doing about $450 million. So if anybody can do math, that was almost 10 times your growth in 3 years because of this one technology that is touching millions of people's lives. Why? Because we all want to look better. We all want to perform better. We all want to live better with no drugs and don't want to pay a lot of money. We don't want to get injected. You could use some creams for your skin. You could use some pills for your minerals, but to turn yourself on, all you need to do is peel and stick. So in the last 18 years, LifeWave has opened up to over 81 countries. We have developed over 6 headquarters office around the world. We are distributing to millions of people around the world now. And what's going to happen now for the future? I want to paint everybody a picture. Who do you know that is taking some kind of a pharmaceutical drug for sleeping and pain? We all do. Who do you know that does not want to be on any more pharmaceutical drugs? We all do. So when we all find this light, when we all find this technology and experience it, how do we get the word out there? Exactly what we've done here in the last 3 years. We have built this community through humans, through sharing, through love, right? And we're going to continue to do this because LifeWave is one of the most organic, and it's the only company in the world that owns over 100 patents on their technology, and 70 of those patents are all built on regenerative science. So I want to ask the last question. Who here would like to be part of a company? Who here would like to be part of a revolution where we can regenerate and repair back the world? I know where, right here. And we can do it one patch at a time. So if all our guests here tonight, just thank you for being on. If you resonated with our testimonials tonight, if you love and see all the beautiful faces here that are just looking younger, and man, I can tell you, we're looking younger, right? If you like this, I know Mary Faye, all we want you to know is talk to the person that invited you here tonight. Let them know one thing. If you want to be a customer, buy this right here at wholesale cost. It is less than $3.50 a day, okay? To get younger, look younger, and feel younger. But if you're like many of us that want to help the world, partner up with us, okay? We're looking for partners. We only have 5 wholesale packages. The more you buy, the more you save. The more you buy, the more people you can help, okay? We're going to give you a beautiful website. We're going to give you a beautiful customer service that is there to support you. And most importantly, we're going to give you this beautiful community so you can plug in every day and just see beautiful faces smile and just help people all day long. If you like that, and especially in today's time, if you just need a little bit of joy and a little bit of light and hope, please invite them to our community here. We do this 5 days a week. Tomorrow, we're going to have a beautiful Kathleen and Wendy to share more testimonials. And before I go, I just want to say thank you again for our testimonials. Mary Faye, your blessing. Chu, thank you so much. We're going to come back to both of you in the next 90 days. And Suzanne, always thank you for being my co-host for Monday. And thank you to our Patching Podcast community. We love you. Thank you for supporting us. And we're going to see you mañana. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Great call.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. Peter, I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Bye,
Good
everybody.
night, John.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mary Faye.
Way to go. Way to go.